Hi again, everybody. I'm Harry Donahue, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm standing here on the first tee at Ravens Claw, where in late May, the Valley Forge Invitational will be played. That is going to be a LPGA Symetra Tour event. First time the Symetra Tour has been to the Philadelphia area. Not long ago, they had a media day, and we spoke to the golf course architect, that's Ed Sheeran, host professional Jim Bromley, and we'll also meet, coming up later in the show, the superintendent. All the pressure's on him, right? Randy Kresge. That's coming up next. A look at Ravens Claw right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By the First Tee of Philadelphia. The First Tee helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit thefirsttphiladelphia.org. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And by Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.
The First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, where golf is more than a game.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. If you've been watching the show for a while, you know that the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board is really involved in promoting Montgomery County golf, Montco Golf. And they're really involved now in a big event coming right here to Ravens Claw outside of Pottstown. The LPGA Symetra Tour, which is sort of like the AAA of women's professional golf in the U.S., will be here May 21st to May 26th. It's one of their 22 events on the year. The top 10 money earners from the Symetra Tour at the end of the year get bumped up to the regular LPGA Tour. And this year's event in late May here at Ravens Claw will have as one of the players Emily Gimple. Maybe you remember Emily. She began her career in golf as a youngster at White Marsh Valley, played in high school, played in college, and is now in the midst of her career, chasing the dream on the Symetra Tour.
I grew up playing at White Marsh Valley, and it's through playing in Montgomery County and at White Marsh where I've met many of you, so I thought it would be kind of fun to...
Emily Gimple is a native of Montgomery County, Lafayette Hill, and here you are coming back to play a Symetra tournament. That's got to be pretty exciting.
I'm thrilled. I am just so excited to have a tournament, near where I grew up, and my family and friends will be able to come, and it's really special.
Give us an update. I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yes.
We started probably 3 or 4 years ago with Lou Guzzi.
Yes.
How's things going for you? How long now you been on the Symetra Tour?
Everything's going great. I'm entering my 4th season, so I'm really excited. I've had a great off season. I've been working really hard, so I'm ready for a big season this year.
Do you have experience here playing at Ravens Claw?
I do. It's been a few years, but in high school we had, I believe it was one of the rounds of districts here at Ravens Claw, so I'm excited to come back. It's a great track.
Now, will you get a chance to play it, say, maybe before the week of the tournament, or will you come here, practice a couple days, pro-am, and then get going?
Oh, I will definitely be calling my friends Mr. Sheeran and Mr. Bromley to come have me out before May, so.
Yeah, Jim Bromley is now the pro here at Ravens Claw, and you said he gave you your first lesson at White Marsh Valley. How old were you then?
Oh, I don't know, 8 or 9 probably. So.
Well, you have a good contact.
I sure do.
The inside track.
Yes.
Well, listen, good luck to you.
Thank
Hope
you.
everything
Thanks,
works
Terry.
out well, not only here, but throughout the season.
Thank you so much.
Good seeing you again, Emily.
Thank you. You too.
Well, these are the days that are always the most fun for me. Announcing a new tournament is always fun, and then being able to do it in the backyard of one of our players, make that special experience of somebody who's dreamed of playing the game their whole life at a professional level, to be able to do it in front of their families is it's a really special opportunity.
Mike Nichols is with the LPGA Symetra Tour, and Mike, I guess we're proud of Montgomery County hosting this event. How does the Symetra Tour feel about coming to Montgomery County?
Well, we're excited because we've been trying to get to the Philadelphia area for a long time, and so this has sort of been one of those holes. And when we look at the sort of the United States, we're playing 14 different states and 20 plus times around the country. So this was really a hole on the sort of the geographic flow of the schedule they were able to fill. And what we're really excited about is coming here to Ravensclaw, which is a first-class golf course, which will allow these ladies who are aspiring to be on the LPGA Tour really test their game to see if they have what it takes to get to the next level.
How large a field will you have?
We'll have 144 players, so the players come from 40 countries all around the world, obviously, and that really is reflective of the fact that golf is becoming more and more international, and the LPGA and the Symetra Tour are following suit. So this will be an event that will be followed in 40 countries around the world. They'll be playing for a $100,000 purse. The top finisher will make $15,000, and the field of the 144 players, the top 60 in ties will make the cut and be able to play on Saturday. It's a 54-hole event, so they'll play Thursday, Friday, cut to 60 in ties, and then final round on Saturday.
And they're playing for a lot more than that. When you look at what is available to the top 10 money earners on this tour, they get to graduate to the big tour.
Absolutely. So the players that are playing here will graduate the top 10 money winners at the end of the season onto the LPGA Tour, but there will be another 5 or so that will still come through the LPGA Tour qualifying school. So if people come out here, of the 144 players who are playing here, probably somewhere between 10 and 15 of them will be on the LPGA Tour next year. So it's a great opportunity to get up close and personal with the future stars of the LPGA, and the fact that this will be the 6th event, they'll already start shuffling in, so people will have a pretty good idea of kind of who some of those top names are going to be.
Should be a great time here in Montgomery County. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I know the list is long, but welcome to Montgomery County.
Thank you very much.
Well, the architect of Ravensclaw, Ed Sheeran. And Ed, for you, this has got to be a big feather in your cap, huh?
Well, it's going to be a thrill. It's a real honor, first of all, and a privilege to see how the best women golfers in the world are going to dissect it.
Without getting too wordy,
Right.
How would you describe what you have here at Ravensclaw?
Well, the intent from day one was to build a player's course in the classic fashion of the Philadelphia School of Golf Course Architecture. So the same way, the same shot values, not that it's Murrian, not that it's White Marsh Valley or Huntington Valley or manufacturers, but the same approach that those architects, Flynn, Wilson, Thomas, Ross, did on those courses. We incorporated all those design concepts into here, which is strategic golf.
Right, and now it's going to be put to the test of some of the better players on, the Symetra Tour, obviously,
Sure.
who are playing for a lot.
Yep.
When you consider the top 10 money earners at the end of the year move up to the LPGA Tour.
Well, and just like the Web.com Tour, the Symetra Tour, typically those players have to go lower. So they're going full tilt. It's like their last run at the Olympics. They got one shot at it. So they're playing not just to stay on the tour, they're playing to get to the next tour.
Emily Gimple, we talked to Emily, and she, of course, from White Marsh. You know Emily's background. She going to call you maybe for some tips?
Well, I would definitely give Emily tips. As you know, I'm also a member at White Marsh Valley. I redesigned the golf course. Played with Emily since she's been a little girl. She knows how to play this course. She's played in Montgomery County Amateur here. But anything she needs to do to get an inside advantage, I'll be happy to give her that information.
There's the inside track that Emily's looking for. Ed, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I hope you get over these crutches in time to enjoy the tournament here in late May.
Well, I will. I think I'll be fine by then. Thank you.
One of our partners on Inside Golf is Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board, the man in charge of all the marketing. No stranger to being on camera once in a while is Ed Harris. Saw you down in Orlando at the merchandise show recently, and here you are now getting ready for a huge event. Ed, where you and therefore Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board really involved in getting this thing here? I mean, with the LPGA Symetra Tour, I mean, how long did it take to get it from the first contact till today?
Yeah, there were several locations that went after this tournament. We were fortunate to rise to the top. There was some heavy competition, and we're just excited. They picked us, they selected Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and the Pottstown area to host one of their key events in the Symetra Tour.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Great week. We have Emily Gimple coming back to her roots in golf, and Jim Bromley, who gave her first lesson, is now the head pro here. So a lot of tie-ins.
Isn't that an awesome story? To have someone from Montgomery County compete in this big tournament right here in our backyard is special, and we're going to be talking about it in all of our publications, montcogolf.com. It's big, and we're excited.
Hey viewers of Inside Golf, have you heard about Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine? Published by ex-Eagles and Philadelphia Stars tight end Ken Dunnick, these magazines offer the very best in content on subjects of interest to men. Writers include Bill Line and George Anastasia. And you can increase your business by attending our monthly private parties as an advertiser. Call 856-912-4007 or email ken@jerseymanmagazine.com for more information.
As long as there is fear, as long as there is curiosity, as long as there are undiscovered corners of the earth, and as long as there is willingness and desire, then you are capable of more. The BMW Championship is coming to Philadelphia September 2018. The top 70 PGA Tour players will be there. Will you?
When we were first approached if we would be willing to have the course used for the weekend, give up all that we know it would take to be able to make this successful, we really didn't hesitate. Ed and I felt this was just an opportunity for us to not only showcase the work of Ravensclaw, what we feel is one of the best public courses in the five-county region. It was also our opportunity to do what we both believe is our commitment to golf.
Well, you know, before you know it, it's going to be May and Memorial Day, and they're going to be playing right here at Ravensclaw. Jim Bromley is relatively new to the site.
New to Ravensclaw, that's for sure.
Yeah. Ownership, everybody seems to be really getting excited about this. Jim, I'm sure you are as we get closer to the event. What's this going to mean, do you think, to this golf course?
Well, it's going to be a huge event for this golf course to get top-level players to go around the golf course, find out what they can do and how well the golf course holds up. And I think the golf course is going to hold up just fine with what we have coming.
Yeah, what is the biggest test, do you think, for not only the normal play here, the people that play Ravensclaw on a regular basis, but for these professionals?
There's going to be a few different tests, I believe. One, there's a couple of holes that are very difficult as far as ball striking goes. And then I think the greens are going to be the piece that really creates the most trouble. They're all different. They all have multiple levels, and you better hit your ball in the right spot.
Big greens?
They're big greens, and they have
undulation.
Lots of undulation.
All right, sounds like a typical modern-day golf course. Huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about one of the competitors who is no stranger to you. Her name is Emily Gimple. You go back to when she was just getting into the game. You were at White Marsh Valley. Her family was members there. Yep. And she was, what, 5 or 6 years old when she first came to you?
Yeah, Emily was 5 or 6, and boy, she had the biggest smile and the greatest attitude toward golf. And you knew that she had a little more than the average person. And the thing that she really had was the desire to play. And she would always play, always working on short game, always trying to find a way to get better. Her determination was big, and you know, she built her skills along the way, starting with short game, working on putting. I worked with her reading greens out on the golf course, you know, worked on trying to build up a little more distance, just never stopped working.
Can you imagine what a storyline it would be? Come the final round, and Emily Gimple is in the hunt to win the championship and wins right here at Ravensclaw. What would that mean for you?
Boy, I'd love to see it. And you know, hey, Emily's done all the work. I mean, physically, she's gotten much, much stronger to hit the ball further. And she's just continued, you know, through high school, through college, and now into the pro ranks. She's worked her butt off.
Well, you're going to be working yours off too, getting ready. Jim, good luck with everything here at Ravensclaw for a great weekend.
Very great to see you. Thanks.
This is Randy Kresge, and he probably, among all the employees here at Ravensclaw, is the senior guy. He's the superintendent for the golf course. But Randy, you were involved in construction back in '04, and since '05 when it opened, you've been the superintendent. So you probably know about Ravensclaw as well as anybody.
Yeah, pretty much. I know all the nooks and crannies of this place.
You ought to be a caddy when this tournament rolls around, huh?
Well, yeah, I can read the greens pretty good here.
Well, you're going to be in charge of getting not only the greens, but the whole golf course in shape. And I'm sure the LPGA Tour, the Symetra Tour, will work with you a little bit in fine-tuning it. But, you know, you and I were talking a little bit off camera about how this is what you do on a regular basis, getting the golf course in tip-top shape.
We try to keep it in good shape, you know, no matter whether we have an event or not. This is huge for us here. So obviously we're going to detail things a little bit more, you know, if they're going to want the rough a little higher, so we'll skip mowing that the week before, which makes us able to address other parts of the golf course, you know.
Well, Jim Bromley, your pro, told us that one of the things about this golf course on the greens, okay, undulation, a lot of it, large greens, and I'm sure you're going to be having them in perfect condition. Is there one area of the golf course that you work on maybe a little bit more than the other? Would it be the greens?
Well, yeah, I mean, we try to keep up with the greens and keep them rolling good, and you know, keep up with the tees, because we do get a lot of play here. So you know, that's one of the things that we are going to have to deal with that other places may not have to, because they do put a lot of rounds through here. So you know, that's going to make our job a little bit tougher, but you know, we'll get it.
I should ask you, what do we have on, what type of grass do we have, bent or Poe or combination?
Bent grass greens and tees and fairways, and Kentucky bluegrass rough. And yeah, we have some Poa, but like any other course.
You got to, right? It travels with you.
I mean, the course is almost 15 years old now, so, you know, I've been able to keep a lot of it out of the greens, but, you know.
You feel a little bit of pressure at all, or because of your experience here? Okay.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, this is a big event for us, you know, and for us to host this. So, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think we'll do all right, and hopefully the weather holds up. And
it's been a tough spring, well, partial spring. We're really, I mean, the month of March was brutal, right?
Yeah, it was warmer in February than March, so.
How about when those high winds come through? Did you have some trees get damaged?
A little bit here and there, but nothing major. We try to keep up with the you know, dead trees and stuff like that. So limbs and minor stuff like that.
All right. Well, it's a big challenge, but you can handle it, right? You've been here for so many years. This is your little baby, and you're putting it on display.
That's right.
Randy, good luck. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
But who can argue with working the Final Four and then going to the Masters? I mean, that's a pretty good week.
I actually did that for about 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
You were a little more anonymous than Mr. Dance. Welcome back. Inside Golf continues from the historic Bluebell Inn in Bluebell, Pennsylvania, right down the road from the Bluestone Country Club. Speaking of which, folks, and this may be of interest to you, they have a 2-year incentive membership to Bluestone underway right now. You want details? Go to their website. It is bluestonecc.com. You can find out all you want about it right there, bluestonecc.com. All right, we're talking today with Mike Kern, longtime Philadelphia sports journalist. He was a master of just about everything, including the game of golf. Not a bad player either. Take it from one who's played with him.
We have fun. That's what
Mark Peterson is the Executive Director, Golf Association of Philadelphia. And from Bluestone Country Club, we have Chris Gardner.
Glad to be back, thank you.
Head professional. And of course, the Bluebell Inn, Bluestone Country Club, neighbors right here in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you a question. You've often maybe daydreamed or thought about, boy, I wonder what it would be like to be somebody like Tiger Woods, or Mike, a journalist like yourself. One of the most renowned golf journalists is Dan Jenkins. And if you like golf on television, Mark, maybe you're a big admirer of Jim Nantz. So I'm going to pose the question. I'll start with you, Michael. Who would you rather be in another life? Tiger Woods, Dan Jenkins, or Jim Nantz?
I want to be tall. in their life. Now, I mean, it's kind of like a different pronged question. If you're asking me as a journalist, I want to be Dan Jenkins, who I became friends with, and great guy, funny guy. He's exactly what you think he is if you read his books. Jim Nantz, obviously, he's not, but I think I'd want to be Tiger. I mean, because he was the greatest. And the worst, he's the second greatest of all time. Now, I understand his personal life is taking weird U-turns and all that, but there was a period there for 10, 15 years where he was unquestionably, nobody would have even brought up the argument, 79 wins, whatever it was, 14 majors, I covered 12 of them. Yeah, I think it would have been pretty cool to
be
the professional Tiger.
Put down your typewriter and notepad and go with Tiger Woods. And microphone.
To
Hello,
walk up
friends.
Augusta, the 18th at St. Andrews twice, or to walk up Augusta knowing that it was my domain, that's pretty cool.
Okay, now it comes with risk-reward,
Yeah,
as we
it does.
know,
Yeah,
right? It comes with risk-reward. Okay, Mark.
Got to go away to a clinic.
Well, I mean, if we're just if we're picking a golfer, I might even go to a different one, the modern Justin Rose, you know, to see him execute on the golf course, but then also to hear all the stories about what a great person he is, a nice guy. I think that's pretty good. But who can argue with working the Final Four and then going to the Masters? I mean, that's a pretty good week if
I
you're
actually
Jim
did
Nantz.
that for about 5 or 6 years.
You were a little more anonymous than Mr. Nantz. That's pretty good.
That's a good couple days.
Right, and being a good golfer himself back in, and still is, and living in Pebble Beach. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, tough to argue with Jim Nantz. You know, from a younger standpoint, I've watched him since I was young, watching Masters coverage and basketball and everything else, and I don't think there's too many doors that are closed to Jim Nantz, so that would be pretty nice. I like what you said about your modern Hall of Famer, if you will, your Justin Rose, or even going a little bit older, like Ernie Els, Davis Love, or Fred Couples. You know, you may not have the spotlight on you 100% of the time when you're out in public, but you're still a Hall of Famer with many wins to your credit, and have got to experience a lifetime of memories on the golf course. That would be ideal for me. Would be certainly amongst those.
Yeah, and as for Nantz, I mean, Nantz is up here when it comes to TV announcers, done it all, Super Bowls, Masters, and all. But I don't know if he's done as much as a guy like Al Michaels. I would say if I had, and I'm in the business, to have a chance to do whatever this one guy is, I'd take Al Michaels.
See, I was always a Pat Summerall guy, which I guess I'm showing my age, but to me, Venturi and Summerall, that was...
And he made a great transition from football, which everybody identified him with, to doing golf for so many years. In fact, Jim Nantz broke in when Pat was still in the 18th tower. A lot of people forget that. And Nantz, I think it was one of those, 86, I think, was one of his first Masters when Jack won. But you can't go wrong with any of those.
Well, you know, you can't go wrong with all of the ones that were mentioned. But one of the things that's not mentioned about being Tiger or Justin or Dustin is there's a lot of work that goes into that. Not as if these other individuals didn't work to get where they are, but when you have an opportunity just to kind of touch that lifestyle, I had an opportunity to work the U.S. Open, you're inside the ropes, it's just fun to be around it. But those guys work hard to get where they are.
Was it Rory McIlroy said, like, he's up at 6 or whatever he gets up, 4 hours of training. Like, people think they just show up on Thursday and they're playing golf.
Right.
Those guys, to get to be number one in a sport like tennis, golf, and you give your life up in a lot of ways. But
sort of like what Chris Gardner's doing these days, right? Huh?
He's up at 5 every morning out there making sure your 18th green is looking great.
I'm up at 5. I'm doing something different than those guys are. But no, I think it's different too. I think not that I'm a PGA Tour star, but you can see on Instagram and Twitter, these guys are hanging out in the weekends too. They're hanging out in the off season. So the tour lifestyle has gotten a little bit different too over the years. It's not driving from tour spot to tour spot. They're taking their own planes, and you'll see Justin Thomas and Ricky and Jordan hanging out together, going to the beach on their weekends off. So it's not a bad time to be a young PGA Tour professional right now.
What goes into stepping onto the last tee of a major championship, like in the last group? We only see them. What's going through your mind? Not just the ability to hit the golf ball, and to think your way around the course, to keep your emotions in check. And, I saw Tiger do that 100 times.
Well, unlike Ben Hogan, they're thinking,
Ben
gee, is
Hogan.
my NetJets plane going to be ready for me when I win this tournament? A different era. Gentlemen, thank you. Who would you like to be? Well, take it up with your friends next time around. We'll be back with more of Inside Golf in just a moment. Located in Bluebell, just a short drive from Plymouth Meeting, Bluestone Country Club offers a setting that's close at hand but feels like a world away. Bluestone offers a championship caliber golf course, practice facilities including a large driving range, separate chipping and putting areas, and a staff of PGA professionals. At the Country House at Bluestone, you'll find excellent food, superb service, and an outstanding setting. Their expert staff will assist in planning your next event, whether it's a wedding or simply a luncheon, dinner, or cocktail party. Check out Bluestone's variety of membership options. Much more than a golf course, Bluestone is a community.
I knew I wanted to be like my dad and be a PGA member. Following him around as a kid, I would get to see the players. I didn't really know them, but they knew me because I was Davis's son. You know, we lost him too early. Coming up the 18th fairway at Winged Foot, knowing that I'd won the PGA Championship, and then to see the rainbow, and everybody associated that rainbow with my dad watching over me. I'd like to thank him for just instilling in me what it means to be a professional and be a PGA member.
The best stories end in thanks. Share your story at ThanksPGAPro.com.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Our thanks to everybody here at Ravens Claw as they get ready for the Valley Forge Invitational. What an event. Late May, some of the brightest prospects in women's golf from the LPGA Symetra Tour on display leading into the Memorial Day weekend here at beautiful Ravens Claw. I hope to see you out there. I'm Harry Donahue, and remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up. See you next week on Inside Golf. Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By the First Tee of Philadelphia. The First Tee helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit thefirstteephiladelphia.org. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia. GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And by Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.